This is the only sixth factor in the whole universe. We like to call it in English as consciousness. Consciousness. You know what is the meaning of consciousness? Consciousness is that. We cannot define it because all our words are based upon matter, energy and objects. Are you following me? Huh? Things which our senses perceive, they are all matter and energy. With those words, how can we explain or describe something different from them? So we are at a loss. So we use the word consciousness and we define it. Consciousness is that, we cannot say what it is. But we will tell you its property, by virtue of which one is made conscious of other things as well as himself. Is my sentence clear to you? Consciousness is that by virtue of which you are made conscious of the other things as well as yourself. Say, I am conscious of my body, I am conscious of the world, I am also conscious myself, I am. Go to pitch darkness where you cannot see your body, lift your hands, otherwise the hands will touch the thigh. How do you know I am? You cannot see the body, you don't feel it, there is no sound coming from it, still you say I am. So there is a presence in us by virtue of which you are made conscious of your body, your senses and the rest of the world. Plus you also know what is within the body in the form of mind, thought, intelligence, reason, ego, pride, dream, sleep, etc., etc. This presence is called consciousness. And what you call mind is a functional note of this consciousness. When by the practice of meditation, the middle presence starts revealing as the sole presence, before thought and after thought. If there is a substance, before it was X, later it was X, so in between also it is X. Is it not? Huh? What is a thing in the beginning and what is it in the end? It cannot be different in between. So all thoughts are equally luminous, equally consciousness. This consciousness becomes jumbled up, and it gives you the feeling of thinker, thinking, thought, thinker, thinking, thought, and multiple thoughts come. Where are they coming? Within the body, is there any space for so many thoughts? So thoughts come and disappear. Can you extract a thought and show me here it is? If you cannot extract it, it has no place for being, then can you say there is a thought? So the consciousness, as in dream, it creates the whole jugglery. It creates that. This consciousness, you start striking. You are able to be familiar with it. I want you to float in your consciousness. What did I say? I want you to float in your consciousness. In your consciousness, I want you to float. Now what are you saying? Thoughts disturb, thoughts disturb, thoughts disturb. What thought? How many thoughts have come to you? Were you disturbed? Are you not still thinking? Has any thought murdered you? Then what are you saying? Every thought comes momentarily, after some time it disappears. No thought is present at all. Then extract one thought and show it to me. What is it that you are reporting? If you say there is a thought, that thought should be there. Is it there? By the time another thought has come. So where is the validity for a thought's existence? So the consciousness has got inscrutable power by virtue of which all this jugglery is produced. What happens? You are lying covered with, say, six clothes. What is your body? It is covered by 6 layers. Remove one, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Then you reach your body proper. Similarly, in your meditation, you will have to unwind yourself, unfold yourself. Every idea, every notion, every feeling, every emotion, everything will be good. And you will discover the sixth factor. What? The sixth factor. The Panchabhutas we know, we are familiar with our senses. But the senses cannot penetrate inside the body. Inside the body only meditation can penetrate. Meditation can enter. So by meditation, enter there, and be floating in your own mind with the help of the optional thought, until at last you say, all thoughts are the thinker himself. You run, you walk, you jump, you squat, you sit, you lie. All of them are done with the same legs. Am I clear? Yes. How many substances is there? Substances are there. You are jumping, you are walking, you are running, you are standing, you are sitting, you are lying. In all these processes, how many legs are there? So what are these functions other than the legs? In any function, is the leg absent? Huh? In any function, is the leg or are the legs absent? Then what are you complaining? In any thought process, is the substance missing? Huh? Shall I get up? In any thought process, is the substance, thinking substance, is it missing? Or the thinking substance itself is the thought? I will not move. You have to answer me. The middle presence itself has become the thought. That is why in the thought you are not seeing the middle presence. But when by meditation and tattva vichara, truthful introspection, you argue and reason in this manner, reason is an intelligence process. Whether it is mind or intelligence, no difference. Intelligence is more effective. So, in every thought, is there any substance other than the middle presence? People who understand, please lift your hands. Poor minority. Shall I start walking? See, I start walking, moving my legs. You call it walking. But in terms of the stuff that walks, is there anything other than legs? When I run, when I stand, when I sit, when I lie. In the same manner, that middle presence, the consciousness, alone is thinking. And it produces multiple thoughts. In all the multiple thoughts, the substance present, is it not the same? I am very, very disappointed. What is it that prevents you from understanding this? You tell me how many mind substances are there in you. So can you not say substance is only one? Yes. Only thoughts are many? Yes. Using the earth we make different products. Are they not of the same earth? Yes. Using the gold we make different ornaments. Are they not of equally the same gold? Yes. In the jewellery shop, what is there other than gold? Huh? You take X quantity of gold in the form of ornaments. You tell me, why are you buying it? Is it because it is an ornament or is it because it is gold? Huh? What is this? Take away the block from your head. In all the multiple thoughts, is not the thinking substance the same? That is why at a time only one thought is there. That goes and another thought comes, because the substance cannot be appearing in two at the same time. So substance wise, it is only one. The more and more you start understanding this, the thoughts do not disturb you. You see the substance in the thought. So the delusion that it is different, it leaves and you become clear. This is all by meditation, meditation, meditation. Your consciousness becomes super consciousness. It is now subconsciousness. Not the English doctor's word sub. It is of an inferior kind. You get divided. Every thought divides you. Every emotion divides you. You don't say, all emotions belong to me. In all of them I am equally present. Equally present. In the head I am, in the hand I am, in the leg I am, in the rectum I am, in the mouth I am, in the intestines I am. So in all thoughts, the thinking substance is the same. The thinker is the same. This kind of an understanding starts coming to you. All delusions are shed. Clarity begins to form more and more, more and more, more and more, more and more. What is the summary of the discussion? Hear or read about meditation. Know it as an exclusive mind endeavor, mind effort and mind sadhana. Enter into the mind plane by virtue of a thought of your option. It is not mind's option, your option. See that it is preserved by you, preserved by your mind. In 2 hours, if you are able to preserve it 10 minutes, then also it is preservation. Make that preservational process, make it lighter, feebler, slower, lighter, feebler. Are my words clear? Make the process more and more light, more and more feeble, and more slow. Until at last, fill the gap. Until at last? Huh? Until at last you should be able to say, it stops. It stops. The thought suspended state, leave it at that. Leave it at that. Now you have to understand it, reflect upon it. Understand how resourceful it is. Resourceful it is. Resourceful it is. Resourceful it is. It is the entire source of creation. Creation. It is the source of sustenance and also dissolution. This much I have told you. Now I will enter into some Sanskrit quotations. Would you like to hear? Yes. I am an absolutely scriptural person. The entire knowledge the whole world has, our Hindus and Indians have had. And I am presenting before you things which were written multiple millennia back. When did Sri Rama live? In Treta Yuga. He was 16 years old and Vasishtha told him, spoke to him for 18 days in the palace of Ayodhya. The entire conversation is recorded by sage Valmiki. 32,000 Sanskrit verses. I am going to recite a few verses so that you understand and you are reinforced by a sense of prestige. Prestige. Is this so? Is this so? All of you are descendants of that huge society, unparalleled society in the world, who have preserved this writing for countless generations. Do you understand the meaning of what I say? For countless generations, these are preserved, preserved, preserved. I am not a history teacher. You are not history students. But still I am discussing this historically. What do you say? Our society preserved it. They did not allow it to perish. Arthad arthantaram chitte yadi madhye duya sthitihi nirastamananakara sa swarupa sthiti smrita. Arthad arthantaram chitte. Follow me. Arthad arthantaram chitte. Arthad arthantaram chitte yadi madhyedu yastitihi. The mind, from one object or one thought, it goes to another thought. Then it goes to another thought. Shifting from one thought to another. If one thought distinct from another thought, in between there must be a no thought and unthinking gap, is it not? And that is called nirasta mananakara. There is no thinking there. It is an unthinking presence in between. Sa swarupa sthiti smrita. That is the real nature of yourself. See how well they have put it. Tell me whether meditation is something hard and to be done only in the Himalayan tops. Arthad arthantaram chitte yadi madhye duya sthitihi nirastamananakara sa swarupa sthiti smrita. Yavat sarvam na sandyaktam tavadatma na labhyate sarvavastu parityage shesha atmeti kathyate. In order to get hold of the self Rama, what should you do? What should be done? Yavat sarvam na sandyaktam. You have to leave hold of everything. When you leave hold of everything, then Atma is got. The self is got. What is meant by leaving hold of everything? Where are you holding everything? Your son, your house, your car, where are you holding? Anywhere in your body? Or this is mine. This is my son. Son is elsewhere. But you keep him in your heart. So mind is the possessor. So in the mind level, when by the optional thought meditational process, all thoughts stop. Don't you think you have left everything? Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Are you doubtful?
No.
When you leave everything, you have got Atma. Sarvavastu parityage. That residual presence is the Atma. Antashunyo Vihishunya Shunya Kumbha Ivambare. It is something similar. Take a picture and take it to the so-called high altitude. You will find inside there is nothing. Outside there is nothing. The picture alone is there. It is something like that where your inside becomes free of all kinds of ramification, complexities and confusions, and it becomes a clear presence, unconditional presence, unconditioned presence. Elsewhere, it is not only that. Antah purno behih purno purna kumbha ivarnave. Bring the same picture, fill it with the sea water and drop it in the sea. It will remain outside full sea, inside full water. So you will feel a sense of abundance and fullness. There will be no feeling of lack. No. It is the mind that feels lack. The same mind becomes full, abundant, affluent, opulent. It becomes Purna. Vidaraga bhaya krodha stidadhir muniruchyade Krishna's explanation of the stable-minded man. He says, Raga, Bhaya and Krodha, simply you transcend desire, hatred and fear. When the mind drops these, you become free. You start floating in the world, All the constrictions that you are feeling. See, when you get married, you should know to be married, what is that? When you have become parents, the mind should go on expanding, is it not? But is expansion taking place? Huh? You feel it was better that I did not marry. See, all children are like my children. That is the feeling you should have. But always a sense of differentiation overtakes you. That is not possible right at all. So constriction should simply shed. All the urges and agitations also should vanish. You should become very pure, very gentle, very amiable, very flexible, very assimilative, very much adjusting. Even your enemies will start liking you. This is the type of expansion that you have. All this by meditation, by meditation, by meditation. Meditation is an austerity. At least spend 20 minutes in meditation. You may not do big meditation. 20 minutes be restful and observe your mind at least. If the other aspects are not, you are not able to take up. Is the subject covered now? Is it clear? Is meditation hard or within our reach? Huh? So will you all become meditators? So I am presenting it in a very clear scriptural manner also, so that all of you will know it well. There is no miracle, there is no mysticism in this. It is all a very clear, rational presentation. I am happy that so many of you have come to this hall with a commitment to know about meditation. And when that right knowledge is had, we don't have to tell anybody to meditate. I always say that knowledge is the greatest persuasion for a human. Knowledge is the best compulsion for a human. So feel persuaded, inspired and compelled, and let meditation be a sure part of your life. If you don't meditate one day, there is no crime and no sin. But you will be enriched if you do it. So don't give a stepmotherly treatment, give a motherly treatment, and be sure that you will be benefited. So I will conclude the session by chanting a sloka. You know, this sloka is from Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana. I would like to tell you something about it. I have no duty to perform in this world, and I have nothing to be instituted in the form of a system or procedure. When the feeling of duty and the feeling of having to institute something both vanish from the mind, you transcend the mind. With such a mind transcendence, samshantaya, with a quiet and quiescent mind, which is almost like sleep. Sleep also your presence is there. But as if it's a kind of a sleepy wakefulness. I do everything that is to be done. I do everything that is to be done. But in reality, I do nothing. Whatever is done, seeing is done by the eyes, holding is done by the hands, walking is done by the ears, thinking is done by the mind, understanding is done by the intelligence. Everything is done. But I am beyond all these things, the I. In that level, no action takes place and no effect befalls. This is how I live in this world, Vasishtha tells Sri Rama. So I generally recite it. I like it very much. I am one like that. So I will recite it and stop. കർത്തവ്യമസ്തി ന മമേഹ ന കിഞ്ചിദേവ സ്ഥാതവ്യമിത്യതിമനാ ഭുവി സംസ്ഥിതോസ്മി സംശാന്തയാ സതതസുപ്തധിയൈവ വൃത്യാ കാര്യം കരോമി ന ച കിഞ്ചിദഹം കരോമി കാര്യം കരോമി ന ച കിഞ്ചിദഹം കരോമി. ഹരി ഓം ഹരി.